Hoka, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of July the 26th, 2024. How the URM could have won the Battle of Zalem, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gunham, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek or Creek Indian, from this week in Linville, North Carolina. Usually it's Denver, Colorado, and it will be Denver, Colorado next week. And with me, I have Lee, and he's from Fountain, Colorado. How's it going, Lee?
Oh, hey, not too bad.
Cool. And then there's Smendrick. He's from Deutschland, and I guess you're up near Frankfurt somewhere, aren't you, Smendrick? I'm not sure. I can't remember.
We have two Frankfurts. I'm closer to the not well-known Frankfurt
okay.
than my. Okay, now I'm telling you, the big Frankfurt is my place of birth.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, but I'm no longer live there.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything is nice. Okay, Creaky, and hello, Hunter Warriors out there.
Yeah. And
hope you are all fine.
You betcha. And we also have with us from the Shires in the Western UK, Vladi. How's it going, Vladi?
Good evening. Not too bad. Not too bad. Weather's pretty crap as usual. As the Paris Olympic opening ceremony got a taste of that today, which was very funny to see.
Yeah, we were just talking about that pre-stream about, Lee and I were talking about it, and then Smendrick came on how you were doing a stream and you paused the stream so y'all could watch the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
Yeah. Because I thought it'd be finished way before then, but they drag these things out for hours and hours.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
And then it's like, and then they were stuck watching this guy give a speech for like half an hour. And I just wanted to see the cool light show from the Eiffel Tower, which was actually really cool. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty sick, man. It was great. Okay, so anyway, and Lee, I did it again. I should have advanced that slide again. So welcome everybody. So to the Alita live stream. So glad everybody's here. I guess we've been kind of short on streams here, in both on this stream and on the Radio Chaos stream the last couple of weeks, because Creaky not being able to kind of do the stream myself, except last week we did do an Alita stream, but the couple of weeks before that, and then last week Creek couldn't do the Radio Chaos stream, but we did have that premiere that we put together, the recording. So hopefully everybody saw that one, and that I really enjoyed watching, because I went back and watched it, the interview with Tilly Lockey. I mean, she was such a sweetheart on that stream. And it was really cool, and of course Demetrius Polito, he was a prince, man. We had a lot of chaos on that stream, and he hung in there with us, and he was real engaging too, but that was a lot of fun putting that together, so and I guess Angelus and Vladi and I, we kind of ran that second recording by the seat of its pants a little bit, but it turned out okay. Unlike the stream or the recording Maxie and I did, Maxie wrote everything down and all that stuff. It was all organized and all that stuff, but they both turned out pretty well, I think. So we had a lot of fun doing that as well. So anyway, it is what it is. So, but tomorrow we are going to have a Radio Chaos stream, but we'll get to that one later. Just want to remind everybody that's watching the stream that we do have Rosa Salazar's Queen Studios Bust of Alita. That's in my house right now. But we got a potential finally for maybe, it might even still be a long shot, but we may have an avenue now to get this to Rosa, and I think as soon as I'm going to, I think the plan is that, Charlie Smith and I are going to go to one of the Cyrano Dvorak plays in LA. I'm going to fly down to LA and we're going to go to it, you know, and it depends on Rosa responds, and it depends on what week, you know, what day we do it, you know. So if I don't hear back from them, we're just going to go on the first day. It'll probably be September 7th, I think, is when it is. So, you know, but it's going to be neat to see Rosa in a play. That is going to be super cool, man. That, even if
that's amazing. And she might have and then she might win an award at the Imaging Awards like the day after.
Yeah, that's right. So
that'll be crazy.
Yeah,
she'll be on a high.
Yeah,
she'll probably also be high.
2 days before Alita Day.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Alita Day. Well, what a run for Rosa.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm hoping, I got to find out about that awards thing if we can even go. You know, I think Charlie would be up for going if we can go. You know, if that's the case, I'm gonna stay 2 days. You know, in LA. You know, probably fly in on when is let me just check something here. I think it's September the 7th is a Saturday, so I'd probably fly in on Friday. And then, you know, if she'll have the thing on Saturday night would be the Cyrano Dvorak thing. And then probably the next day is the 8th. So I'd probably fly back on Monday. So I'd be there 3 days, actually, 3 nights. So, but it'd be really cool to see Rosa in a play. And we're planning to wear some kind of Alita garb. You know, I'm probably going to buy a polo shirt, a black polo shirt, and have my friend at the Anime World, you know, have him, you know, put an Alita signature, you know, kind of a one of the Alita Army, like you see on the screen there down the lower left corner, have him put that on the shirt. Hopefully Rosa will see it.
Do it.
Know. Yeah,
Do it, really.
So, and I think Charlie's got a shirt. I'm not sure about that, but we're going to coordinate all that. It'd be kind of neat if Charlie and I sit next to each other in the middle, where we were conspicuous, you know, so Rosa looks out and sees 2 Alita Army guys out there. That's got to get her attention, I think, you know.
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
hope so.
But even if she doesn't, I did send a letter. I mailed that yesterday. And damn it, Vlade, I don't know if you noticed, I had a little grammar error in the first sentence. It really tore me up because, I mean, I read that thing about, I read that thing about 4, 5, 6 times, and it's just the same old thing, Lee, like we say, you know, when you write something, you tend to read it the same way you write it. So, but it's not too bad, you know, but I mean, you know, it still gets the message across. So, and I kind of came up with some Alita letterhead, you know, and I put on an envelope the little Alita Army, you know, kind of little logo you see in the lower left corner there on the screen, on the envelope. So hopefully these people at the Pasadena Playhouse will get it and say, what the heck is this, you know? And maybe it'll stand out so much that maybe they'll say, well, maybe let's give this to Rosie, you know, or something like that, you know. Hopefully that happens. So a lot of times these people tend to throw that stuff in the garbage, though, so I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, straight in the bin.
So,
it's important to know that we are still with her. That's the most important thing. She can decide not to talk to us. It's okay, but she should know that we are still with her after over 5 years.
Well, I don't think there's any malice or anything like that of her not talking to us. I think it's just something that, you know, actors a lot of times, not all of them, but sometimes, you know, they have bad experiences with fans because fans can be pretty toxic.
I mean that. Exactly.
Well, Rosa did have a little situation with a fan that was stalking her. So, you know, that maybe has turned her off, you know, so, but hopefully she'll see that we're not that kind of people. You know, we're on her side, and we'll support her even if she doesn't talk to us. You know, we'll still do it. You know,
was it ever confirmed that it was actually a fan?
Well, we don't know if it's a fan or not. It could have been.
It could have been an ex-boyfriend or something.
Yeah, it could have been.
She's had those kind of issues in the past as well.
Too many possibilities.
Yeah,
the only thing
we shouldn't speculate. Like, I just don't think we should even say it was a fan.
Yeah,
someone.
I don't know if it was. Yeah, you're
which
right.
one of you guys did this? And I was like, fuck off. You can't say that when you don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I would. That was kind of an assumption on my part. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if it was a fan. I do know that whoever this was stalking her. You know, so
yeah.
And wasn't it something where they were near her house or something like that? Bloody, I think you know more about that.
I can't remember those exact details, but I don't remember her saying anything about it being specifically a fan.
Yeah,
but of course she's a celebrity, and that often comes with the territory, sadly.
Yeah, and they have to be on guard, you know, because people can do weird things. So
I think she was happy when she was in the interview, and they asked her or told her about the Alita army, her army.
Yeah.
And she looks happy.
Yeah.
That's the way
Yeah.
I think we should stay in her memory.
Yeah, I think so,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we did the Oscars thing, she said you win the Oscar for best fandom.
Yes.
And when she met Rosa Salazar BR, the fan.
Yeah.
The big fan, the Brazilian fan.
Yeah.
She said that Rosa's like her face lit up when she mentioned the Alita army.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So she knows we're not like the stalker type.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just love her a lot.
Yeah, we do. We love her a lot, and we don't want to stalk her. We want her to feel safe and want her to, feel like, hey, we're on her side with the Alita army. She's our queen, and we support her 100%. That's kind of the way we want to come across, I think. So, but anyway, we got this bust. We'd love to give it to her, and hopefully I'll hear something next week or the week after or something like that. And, we'll see what happens. But if not,
we also have to think like she'll be entering the public eye more in coming months. So there's an increased possibility now something could happen, but we shall see.
Vladdy, I have a question to you.
Yes.
What do you think? Is it really good to leave the bust in the plastic foil such a long time as Creaky did here? Is it a good idea, or is there some kind of I don't know the English word, but it's like gas?
Yeah.
I'm
not sure. Honestly, that's a good question. Also,
I don't think
temperature like Creaky in the where does it get really hot?
It's not so much it's not. I mean, in my house, it's not that hot, obviously. I mean, not like it would be outside, but
okay, it's important.
But the main thing about it is in Colorado, it's extremely dry, and Lee can attest to this. I mean, certainly when it rains, the humidity kind of goes up, certainly, but most of the time, the humidity is down around 25%, or something like even 20%,
Okay,
but it's not conducive to that kind of wear and tear. And of course, that the bust is sealed, in the shrink
it's
wrap.
not really sealed. Do you remember?
It's in shrink.
Maybe you can explain this.
Well, it's in shrink wrap, I think, though, isn't it, Bloody? I think.
I don't think it's like airtight sealed, but.
Well, don't worry about this, Spendrick, because we start getting the indication that maybe we are going to get it to Rosa, I'm going to open that box up and look at it and see if everything's okay, because if I get a word back from Rosa, I mean, this has been in my wildest fantasy maybe, but one day next week or the week after, I get a call from Los Angeles, and I answer the phone. And,
Yeah.
and it said, "Is this Gary
Press
Villeneuve?"
the record button in time, please.
Yeah, well, this is Rosa Salazar. Of course, my immediate reaction might
you
be,
do nothing.
"Oh, really?" Because I've had several people that are scammers try to scam me that they were Rosa Salazar, and it's not a good thing. But if that happens, if something like that happens, or maybe she sends me an email, it could be something like that as well.
That would be great. So we have time to react.
And I will open it up. I promised Tony I would not open it up. That's why it's not open.
Yeah, it's okay. But it was just my idea.
Yeah,
because
I think
in the accessories there are a kind of powder. Maybe Vladdy, you can explain it better than me. It's a kind of to protect the silicon skin from drying, from
isn't it like the little pouches of they have little pouches. I think it's to stop it getting moist, actually, not dry. But
I think
it's to stop moisture building up, not to keep it dry.
Yeah, and Colorado is pretty dry mostly. It's not, you don't have problems with mold and stuff like that like you do in more humid climates, but I promise I will open it once we get that indication, and I will inspect it to make sure nothing is wrong with it, because that would be embarrassing as hell to open it up the day before we're going to give it to her and see something wrong with it, or maybe the arm is broken or something,
if you have the $150 Gutschein, man, I don't know the English word for it. The $150 refund in it, then you have the repaired eye model. Well, otherwise you have to check out if the eye I think it's only one eye that was damaged in the first few statues they produced.
For this? No, Tony, I think Tony did actually look at it, and he said he indicated there's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, that's been a while, obviously. So
yeah. It's a very, very long time ago.
Yeah, it says here, Avernaut says storage of the original packaging is optimal for years, but not for decades.
Yeah. So give Alita her sequel.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The thing is, though, is that I guess Staravellian bought Staravellian, Dizzy, and Dennis, and maybe you, Vladdy, was involved in Maxi. Several of the original Alita core, actually bought this thing, and and I think that was like in late 2019, wasn't it, or something like that, or
it was really early on.
Yeah. So it's been a little over 4 years. So it's we've got some time in there on it, I think,
Like Rosa could take it. If she doesn't want it, she could just sell it and then donate to like the DNC or something.
The DNC. Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk politics now, Vladdy.
Yeah, sorry.
But
what's Kamala's phrase? What's Kamala's catchphrase now? We're not going back, isn't that?
Yeah, we're not going back. Yeah, that's right. So let's stay away from politics. Everybody on this stream knows what my political leanings are.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like to make an.
We don't want to get on it with Alita here. That's right.
Of course, yeah. I wasn't making any statements.
No, that's okay. But anyway, I think that if Rosa does indicate it'd be my wildest dream if she called me up and say, "Yeah, Creek, I do want that statue," and and invites me down to LA to present it to her or something, or ask me when I'm coming or whatever, But that would be like a dream come true, wouldn't it? But I think the whole thing is, if that happens, I'm driving down there with this thing. I am not going to ship that thing. I am going to drive down to LA.
Yeah. It's important.
It's only about, God, I forget how, 1,100 miles from my house, something like that. So I could probably drive that in one day, maybe. I have driven 1,100 miles in one day before. It's a long day, but I can do it, But one thing I'd probably would do is I'd probably find a hotel about 2/3 the way, and then stay the night. So if that's the case, I'd probably be leaving on like Thursday, drive down there, and stay Thursday night on the road in a hotel, and then arrive in LA on Friday with the statue, so that would be kind of cool, I think.
On your seat beside you.
No. I'd put it, no. I would put it back in the box, and I actually probably wouldn't use the big box you see right there, because that thing is in another box, isn't it, Bloody? And I think it's
boxes within boxes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I probably would keep it in this box that you see on the screen there, but I would definitely put it in the trunk, or not trunk, but in what you UK types call the boot.
A boot, indeed. Yeah,
it's not a boot. It's more like, because I've got like a SUV, so it's not really a trunk or a boot, But anyway, it's in the back. I'd put it back there, and then of course I would take it out when I got to the hotel and take it in the room with me, because you never know what some people would do, break into your car or something like that. So
yep.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the statue.
Yeah.
And this one is for our queen.
Yeah, this is for our queen. And of course, if I do hear back from her or somebody on her behalf that says, yeah, we would like to have a little ceremony or something after the play or something like this, I don't know,
chocolate cake.
I would probably, well, not that kind of ceremony, just a little presentation, up on stage or something like that, perhaps, or something out in the front of the theater or in the lobby or whatever, wherever it is, I'm going to bring my brother with me. He's going to shoot the video, of course they'll have plenty of video going around, but I'd want video, for the Alita Army, and he's got a broadcast quality camera. So, and looks like Kabaj says he'd love to go, but yeah, he's got some,
I think he means on the stream.
Oh, he does mean on the stream, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
See you tomorrow, Kubi.
Okay. See you tomorrow, Eric Boz. Yep, absolutely. Okay, I think we hit this one pretty good. So yeah, we desperately want to give this to Rosa. We want her to know that the Alita Army loves her, and we support her 100%, and we're not going to do anything untoward or anything like that. We just want to support our queen. That's all. That's the main thing. Be nice if she was listening to us, wouldn't it? No,
yeah, maybe she is listening to us for a long time.
Hi, Rosa. Congratulations on your award for best.
Well, well, for sure. We if she was, I don't think she is, but if she was, we just wanted to know, hey, we support you, lady. You're our queen, and we want to make sure that that good things happen for you, and we'll be respectful, for sure, So anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, the creek keeps running his mouth, Lee. You remember I said that, that I get in there and I start talking, and it's hard to stop sometimes when we're talking about our girl or we're talking about our queen, Yeah, it does. So anyway. Here's the Alita sequel petition, and of course, I think we added, that might be last week's numbers. I'm not sure. Anyway, we got over 178,000 signatures on it. If you haven't signed the petition, just click on the link. You see that it's this link that you see below that image is also down in the description. And you can click on that. You enter your name and your email address, and you've signed the petition. So that way we can just keep reminding Disney, you know, that, hey, we're here and we're not going anywhere. And you know, we're going to keep doing what we're doing until we get that sequel, or plural sequels. Yep. That's what we want. So anyway, like I say, the description's down. I mean, the link is down in the description. What was that, Bloody? You were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say the usual thing, like the sequels Cameron promised us. God damn it, the sequels that John Lando fought to get in his literally like his final years of his life. It was one of his like desires, and they haven't given it to us yet.
You know what? You know what's going to be poignant when we do get the sequel, because I think eventually we will get one. You know, at least one, because I think Cameron wants to do it. You know.
Yeah, I think if he wasn't going to get it, it would have leaked something to like.
Yeah, that's right. But I think the thing is, what's going to be poignant is that at the end of the credits, or just before the credits roll, you'll see that for John. You know, that's going to be really
exactly.
Yeah. It's going to be a tearjerker.
They have to. It's not an option.
Yeah,
I agree.
To do this.
If they don't do it, it's the kind of thing that will like haunt their souls for eternity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, John Landau was great, man. I mean, God Almighty, that's sad. The day I heard he died, that bothered me. You know,
he was crying like all day. And I just watched an interview today that I hadn't seen before of him. Sometimes YouTube just randomly shows you stuff from like a year ago.
Yeah.
And he's just so like, he's so passionate and professional. Every word he says is like thought out. And he's so humble as well. At the end, the guy said, the interviewer said, he said, you're like one of the walking, talking legends of the movie business. And he was like, well, I don't know about that. It was really, you could tell he was like genuinely humble. And he was like, no, I'm not really like that. But he really was like that, because everyone like, he was like the guy who made all of like Cameron's like legendary stuff happen. So he's definitely one of the like legends of cinema, in my view.
And I get the impression too that the people, the actors and you know, the crew and all those folks really enjoyed working with him. He seemed to me to be a real people person, you know. So you know, which is cool.
Yeah, he was so nice to me when I met him.
Oh, you met John Landau. Wow, nice.
Did you not know? Yeah, he was at the signing for the Avatar 2 premiere.
Yeah,
it was a crazy day that. I got a
signed
with
your metal.
Yeah, I was like, can I take a selfie? And he was like, yes, of course. And I was like, oh, because he was so kind and nice. He signed my Steelbook. Again, I regret so much that I didn't get him to use the pen I brought, because I was really nervous. So nervous. Like, I should have said, I didn't even say I was part of the Alita army. And just now I will never be. But he obviously knew. But I just told him like I was a big fan and I'm really rooting for him to get the sequels. And he said, I'm really fighting for it, something to that effect.
Yeah.
So he was just such a nice man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was definitely a great guy. So anyway, sign the petition and let's keep the heat on Disney.
Yep.
And we got the Alita Gaming Network. Of course, you see all the channels we have up there. And we were just, I guess, Smendrick, Vladi, and I were on one of the voice channels. We were on the gaming channel there on the voice channels. That was a hoot, because Vladi, I clicked on that expecting to see you play in the game, and y'all were watching the Olympics.
Yeah, we just paused talking about the Olympics. Yeah, I kept thinking like, come on, hurry this up. I've got to get to my game stream, but it was just dragging on and on. So eventually we just watched that, and I played a little bit after.
Yeah.
But talking to Vladi is like a family call or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
Really, really. I loved it.
Nice Alita fan.
Yep. But anyway, we got a lot going on the channel, I guess, in terms of you know, what's available now. You know, there's not that many people on there. I think one new person. I said hi to a new person today. And how many people are on there? 25, 26 maybe? I don't know, something like that.
It's nearly 30 people.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't count it exactly, but sometimes they show the number of people generally signed the server, and it's, I think, 27 or 28 or something like that.
Nice. Well, I know I think I got Lee to promise that he's going to stream a game on there. So did I get a promise out of you for that, Lee?
I said I was very much thinking about it. I just wasn't sure what game to stream.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't really sure any of them are really appropriate for an Alita.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Angelus, which of course Angelus is not here, is he? But anyway, that's all right. I know he has a weird work schedule, but he streamed Stellar Blade. He had a couple of gaming sessions on there that he streamed that, and Chaos Nova has streamed some of the Martian Memory game, on there and stuff like this, And I know I'm planning. I'm not equipped as well here for me to actually record a game. I got an old game that I'm going to kind of take. I'm going to screen capture it, and then kind of take it into the my video editor and make the player look like Alita. So that'll be kind of cool, I think. But that way we'll. Hey Finn, I see Finn's out there. That's cool. So is Gunnar.
Oh, hello, Finn.
Evernaut. Yeah, they're out there as well. Cool.
Hey, dudes.
Grüß Gott, Finn. So, of course, those guys that speak Swiss German, I don't think they use Grüß Gott, do they, Smendrick? I think they say
Grüezi.
Yeah.
Grüezi miteinander.
Yeah. So, but anyway, all you have to, there's the link you see below the little chibi Alita there, our mascot, our logo for the gaming channel. That link is also in the description below the screen here, and this link is good for 7 days, and when we get enough people on and we've been around long enough, then they'll give us a more permanent link. But it's really no big deal for me to get a link every week and post it here, and it's good for 7 days. So the only thing you'll need is a Discord ID, user ID, and they're free. You don't have to pay a thing. And I know Matu and I are not going to allow any kind of untoward stuff on there. No politics, no porn, none of that crap is going to be on there, or else we're going to kick them out, So this is going to be strictly for us to have fun with it. And, and you're not limited to games. There'll be live streams on there. There'll be video clips on there. You can get on the voice channel, kind of like Smendrick and Vladi and I did pre-stream here. We were talking on the voice chat, the gaming channel, So, and it's pretty cool, So
yeah, it's a high quality streaming and a high quality platform. I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's different from Twitch and stuff because you can all properly talk whilst the game's going on.
Yes.
Whereas on Twitch and YouTube,
exactly.
You just have a chat.
So anyway, if you join the Alita Gaming Network, we'd love to have you. And, we'll, Jill Smendrick. Okay, that Finn has too much fun out there, doesn't he? So anyway, join the gaming channel. We'd love to have you. And, it's kind of a neat thing to do. One thing I don't have in here this week, I meant to put it in here, but I haven't the last couple of weeks had the I guess the Anime World slide in here because I'm not in Colorado, so I don't know what's going on, but I'll put that in next week. But last I checked, the 3 little Alitas and the Hot Toys Alita was still in there, and so the people that own that store and also the folks that work in there, they know my brother and I, we go in there, about 3 times a week or more, 4 or 5 times a week to walk and stuff like that after eating and stuff. But, they say people, they look at it all the time. I think probably one of the things is that Hot Toys Alita is on there for $300, and maybe a little pricey for some of them, you know, but they got some figures in there that are $500. So, you know, I mean, so Hot Toys Elite is not the most expensive item in there, but
yeah, Creaky. Just my 2 cents to this. I think let Alita in the store, because its real worth is to remind all the viewers and the people going to the shop, looking just around, remind them of the Alita movie and the Alita merch. Okay,
you betcha.
I think it's not necessary to sell or to give it away or whatever.
Yeah, we don't want to give it away. We're not going to give it away.
Yeah. Let it in the store.
Yeah,
for free.
It's free real estate.
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm not pressuring them to sell it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a kind of it's a permanent advertising for the Alita merch, for the Alita movie.
She towers over.
Well, here's the thing, Spendrick. Here's the thing: if they do sell the Hot Toys Alita, or they do sell one of the little Alitas,
then we have to renew.
I'm going to buy another one and put it in this place.
Yeah, we have to buy another one.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to put any of my Alitas in there. Just buy a new one.
No.
My Alitas are like family.
I think some of us has enough money to replace it with the next Alita statue.
Welcome, channel does not exist. How's it going, channel from Poland?
Hi, I've been in the backstage for a while.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I'm on my laptop and I couldn't. I just now saw you because my laptop doesn't have as big a display, obviously. And I just now saw you. I went, oh crap!
You've got to start spamming the chat. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
like, let me in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
exactly.
So we got, but we do have channel now. She's one of our valued Alita Army members, as they would say.
Yeah. So, hello, channel. Hello.
Okay, so anyway, join the Alita Gaming Network. Get you a Discord user ID. They're free, and you can get on here and do stuff. You can, and by the way, anybody can upload content to this. Now, Matu and I are going to look at it and make sure it's nothing, too dodgy or anything like that, because we don't want any dodgy stuff on there, or no political stuff, and none of that. But if you got a video that you think is pretty good, upload that thing, or upload the link from YouTube, let's say. And it doesn't have to be Alita, because we do have a channel that has it's called Off Topic. So if it's not Alita, maybe it's very loosely related to Alita or something like that. You can load it in Off Topic, and as long as it's not, kind of bad stuff, I guess is the best way to put it. Then we're good with it, So anyway, this channel's for us. So that's or this gaming network is for us, So
yeah, I like how it's just like quite a small little close knit group.
Yeah. Now eventually it'll get big there, I guess.
We have to think to the future. And
that's okay.
Maybe we are 50 or
we'll
more
expand.
people.
Yeah. Well, we'll expand the number of channels if that happens. I mean, we're not going to be stuck with just, say 1,000 people and just only have 8 channels. We're not going to do that. We'll grow with it, So.
We need one channel in it called "This Channel Does Not Exist" in honor of our channel.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Vladi.
I'm trying to rejoin it from the link on screen, but it just sent me to the normal Discord. Can you put the invite in chat?
Yeah, let
Did
me
the
do
link
that.
not work?
Yeah,
Is
let
this
me
the
go
one that
look
you
together.
gave me, Creek? Did you give me a Duff link?
No, I gave you a different one, Blotty.
The link I tapped it in, and it just sent me to my normal Discord page.
Yeah, just
I was wondering why no one else
just
joined when it was just me and
hold
Schmindrick.
your horses.
Yeah.
Hold your horses, guys.
Are you not already in the Discord channel?
I was, and I left, and I was trying to get back in.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's
and most invites stop working after like between a week and a month. So the old invite someone sent me probably doesn't work anymore.
Okay, let me. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, in the public chat, and I'm gonna put it in the private chat. So if you want to join, there it is. Just click on that. It'll take you, to the I guess the invite, whatever the invite screen looks like, and then you can join. So
should work.
Yeah, it should work. Yeah.
And if you renew it all 7 days, maybe. Yeah.
Well, Lottie brought this up. The one I sent him was like 2 days ago. Every time you go to it, it gives you a new one. Yeah. So that's why. But Lottie's will work just as well. His is good for 7 days too. So Lottie, if you want to send that to somebody, you can do that as well. So
for another 5 days now.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, I might do a stream again the same time before the stream next week. So I might need a new link by then.
And what I might do too for your channel is when I'm going to get back on Discord after this,
So the link you put in chat, it still just sends me to my normal Discord page. Like an invite briefly flashes and then it disappears.
Let me try the one you sent me.
Well, let me. I'll do this channel. I will specifically invite you. Because I mean, certainly you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, click that, and because it'll ask you who do you specifically want to send an invite to, and I'll pick you. So you'll get one, but it'll have to be after the stream, So anyway.
Oh shit! I put a link in, but sorry. It turns it into a Twitter link. Let me try and fix that. Here we go. Okay, I put a link in on the public chat on YouTube. I don't know if that works.
Well, no,
copy and paste it.
Lottie, unless you're the stream manager, the producer, you can't put a link in the public chat.
I mean, you
can put it you can put it in a private chat. Then I'll copy it. Then I can put it in the public chat if you want to do that as well.
Like if someone else puts it in the public chat, does not appear at all. Does it appear, but not as a link, and you have to manually copy paste it.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, manually copy pasted is still okay, just as long as it works.
Yeah. No, the link I've got is the same one that Creaky put in the private chat. So whatever.
Okay, maybe it could help. The same with no, I forgot the name. A few days ago with Karam.
Okay.
I sent him the link.
Kareem. You sent the link to Kareem.
I knew his name on Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I sent him a DM with the invitation
private invite
gave me. Okay. That's the easiest way.
I promise, channel. I'll send it to us. I'll invite you specifically. I'll get on Discord and I will invite you.
Yeah. Yeah. Try this, and this works 100%.
Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, join the Alita Army Network, gaming network, if you can, and we'd love to have you. Because the more the merrier, and we have a lot of fun on that channel. And right now we're in our infant stages on it. I'm sorry.
If people can even join, they'd have fun.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe I have to start inviting people specifically then. So anyway,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on then. Now, here's our main topic. the main topic here is, if you remember from the movie, and just to kind of set all this up, and then I'm going to play a little video of the Battle of Zalem. If you remember when I guess Hugo and Alita and Koyomi and Tanji, they were going to the URM ship. Hugo was explaining to Alita, what that whole process was. Because remember, Alita, even though she fought in that war in the movie, she has no memory, so she doesn't know it. So he was telling her, that there were, I think it was 12 cities, sky
12.
cities.
We even had a stream about how stupid that sounds. There's just way too many orbital elevators.
Exactly. Yeah. In other words, every 30 degrees, around the equator, you got a sky city.
They decided 12. That's a nice number. 12 months, 12 apostles, 12. You know what? 12 elevators.
Yeah.
Well,
go home or go big or go home. They should have stayed home.
Well, what's significant about 12 is that means the angular, I guess, orientation around the Earth is 30 degrees. So in other words, that it's evenly spaced in 30-degree increments all the way around the Earth. Because, as you know, a circle's got 360 degrees in it. So if you have 12, that's 30 degrees. So
that's way too many, though.
It is. It definitely.
If they wanted to have more than in the manga, I could have accepted 6. Why the hell do you need 12?
Well, I would say probably the most you would want is 4.
But, 4 is a reasonable.
Yeah.
2 is the original number. 4 is a reasonable number. 6, a little overboard, but hey, why not? 12. Now you're just going stupid. You're just trying to prove we have the most elevators out of any country, out of any planet. Yes, but why?
Where did it say that? Was it in
the book?
Where does it keep? It's in the movie.
In the novelization, there's 12.
And then the novelization, yeah.
It's not in the movie though, is it?
He kind of mentioned. He doesn't mention the number specifically.
Yeah, the novelization and the movie aren't fully compatible.
Yes.
No, there was some license taken.
The novelization.
I thought it might have been in that the history in the special features when they go, and none of that makes sense. I thought it might have been from that.
Well, I think the idea was they did. It's kind of like Channel says, they kind of came up with a big number, to make it sound like, that Earth is was maybe a super advanced culture at that point, society, and then it would, if you could put up 12 cities like that, which means you would have to have probably 12 Jerus, or some kind of orbital ring like they have, like in the manga. And then they'd have to be hooked to the orbital ring somehow. They didn't go into that in the movie too much, but you would have to have, it had to be paired like that. And what that would mean is if you got 12, that means you really got 24. Because if you remember, we've had a couple of streams on this about the physics of this, is that, Jeru, as an example, is in geosynchronous orbit above the Earth. And Zalem is like 2 miles above the surface of the Earth.
Now I got to ask.
Yes.
Is it 12 as in 12 counting both the bottom and the top city, or 12 counting the amount of elevators? Because every elevator has
I don't know. They don't go into that, do they? So
because if it's 12 elevators, then that gives us 24 cities. But if it's 12 cities, then that only gives us 6 elevators. So we're back to a less stupid number.
Yeah, that's right. But they don't really go into that, do they? We don't really know, So
until they explain, I'm hoping it's 12 cities and 6 elevators, because that sounds significantly less stupid.
Yeah, and it would take a tremendous investment to build. Well, it would take a big investment to build, 6 of these things, 6 pairs.
I disagree with that.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Once you've got the technology and materials to build one, you're going to have a much easier time of building any more after that, because you're already in a position to easily do it.
I mean, you're not in a position necessarily to easily do it, but you are in a position to do it. So now you're improving on a method that you already know at least kind of works.
Yeah,
well,
but
I'm still going to have to disagree with that. According to the aerospace engineers at NASA that have been working on these projects, once you get one out of the way, the rest are easy.
According
they're
to,
easy, but
I don't remember which space agency, but they said on the news in 2021 that by 2025 we would have a space, we would have a permanent space station. I don't remember if it was on the moon or on the Mars. I think it was going to be the Mars landing.
I bet
We're
we
not
don't.
quite
Why
there
have we
yet.
got back to the moon?
2025 having a colony on Mars. That sounds pretty aggressive to me. I don't know if we got the technology for that yet.
Yeah,
but
that kind of sounded far-fetched then, and it sounds even worse now. So
now I would say 2030 might be more reasonable.
Well, that's the thing. It's not a technology problem that we have. It's a politics problem.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
Economies
look
at
at
scale too, right?
Look at the current thing with the moon. Every single nation or unity, or I don't know how to say this, tries to start a kind of competition to the others.
Kind of like it was in the 60s, right? With the moon, moon race.
And look at now the run to the moon. Japan tries to, for the second time, within a very short period, to explore the moon, the backside of the moon, and whatever. What's this for? You can ask this, but you cannot change this politics.
We need to mine that sucker.
Well, here's the thing, though, and Lee.
What's on the moon that's so mineable, though? Because
helium.
Helium.
Okay.
Haven't you seen?
Helium.
Haven't
That
you
is very
seen
useful.
Yeah.
But
for
the planet, okay, moon's not a planet, but for the space bodies that aren't as well explored, we don't really, with moon, we know helium. With the other ones, we don't really know how much of them has useful mineable materials. Like, there's definitely something, we have no idea what. And how much of it is useful to us.
The entire thing is only for the competition, being the best, being better than other nations.
That's why the space race happened at all, to prove we're mostly between the US and the USSR, to prove who's better, like who can get to space.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but we cannot
change
like
that now.
It
can't. It's not going to be like that now on a nation. I mean, certainly nations will, but it's also going to be commercial entities doing this. But Lee, I want to go back to something Lee said a while ago, that I agree that in the economies of scale, if you do more and more things, it's not as difficult, but it would still take more investment to do 12 floating cities than to do one, although it won't take 12 times as much, might take 3 times as much, maybe.
Well, the materials to build them are already out there. We don't need to use any of the stuff on Earth.
But and
we've got technology right now that could get us to Mars and back in a matter of weeks. They just don't want to use it.
Yeah, that's
because there's all this political red tape and other BS that's in the way of using it.
Yeah.
Okay, the advantage.
But it would still take more investment though to do multiple cities. It wouldn't be as much.
Maybe the advantage could be if you try it other than the others, you can share the experience.
Yeah.
And if you have 12 tries, for example, maybe the half, maybe 6 fails, but you can learn from the other things.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have to remember the space elevators, because they're counterbalancing each other, you have to build the 2 on the opposite sides at the same time.
Actually, you don't.
You don't?
No. According to the people who actually work on this stuff, once you get one space elevator balanced in a geosynchronous orbit, it stays there on its own.
Down, right, Lee?
Yeah.
So it's just the ring that has to be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
I
makes,
mean, that's the thing. You still might want multiples.
Yeah.
Out of consideration for military power. I mean, if you are in
or
a
just for
arms race with other planets and colonies,
yeah,
then you might need to, or feel the need to build all these other facilities out there as shipyards, repair facilities, and for defense.
Well, for
I was
redundancy
thinking
and resilience
redundancy for
too,
trade, but for
there is
trade,
that as well.
so we
Yes.
don't end up with a space
This
version
is
of what
okay.
happened with the canal that got blocked by a sideways ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to Lee's point too is that
I understand why there would be multiple, but 12 is just, you technically could build. We absolutely have the technology to build 10 airports around one city, but there is no city that has 10 airports. Like really, some cities have 5, but I don't. Is there a city on Earth that has 10 airports? We have the technology to do it.
Well, I know around Denver they got more than one airport. They got
like I say, there's some cities with up to 5 airports.
They
but
got at
you
least
don't
4
need
that I know of. So, but anyway, to Lee's point, one of the things when he brought up the military part of it, one of the things that you want if you want to have an advanced civilization that needs to protect itself against other, against enemies, interstellar or planetary enemies, by having multiple cities like that, your culture, your society is more resilient, because you take out one city, there's still some others. I mean, if you only have one city and you take it out, then you've destroyed, pretty much a good part of the society, that's maybe dependent on various things from the city, Now, whether it's 12 or not, I think in the movie it is 12, but we could argue all day about that. I do tend to agree with you, Channel, that 12 is kind of a big number. I don't think it would cost 12 times as much to put up 12 as it would 1. It's not 1 times 12, but it would still be a somewhat of a considerable investment. But what would be the reward for it? Well, you'd have this resiliency or redundancy against kind of planetary enemies or something like that. Because if you remember in Alita, you got the people on Jupiter, there are people on Mars, or there was, and people that are in the floating cities around Venus. So there's 3 potential enemies right there. Anyway,
also, if you have this many, you're probably gonna want to use separate elevators for military purposes and separate for trade purposes, assuming you both are happening at the same time. It's not like the planets aren't completely cut off from each other trade wise.
Yeah.
If you would probably be using different elevator for commerce and a different for military actions.
Perhaps you could, but you could probably do some of that, because right now, military, they buy materials from the private sector. I mean, it's not.
They absolutely do.
Yeah. So what? But transporting it in that kind of advanced civilization, yeah, who knows? I mean,
I'm talking more about how shipments from factories don't really usually arrive to military ports.
Yeah, they don't. That's right, because you have shipyards and military airports and
shipments
stuff like that.
from a closed workshop in China don't come in from military port.
Okay, I want to bring this back to the Battle of Zalem. I mean, this is really good discussion, and maybe this is something for another stream. You've given me a great idea on this. But in terms of the Battle of Zalem itself, if you remember from the movie, Hugo said that Zalem was the last city, was the only surviving city after the Great War with Mars, the United Republics of Mars. Now that's a movie only thing. In the manga, there is no United Republics of Mars in the manga, but in the movie, of course, there is. So Earth and Mars had this big war with each other, And although it kind of seems like the war was a stalemate or maybe a draw,
there's still beeping. There's beeping in the background. Someone's got something beeping.
Let's see. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Oh, is it me? Wait. We had this time ago. Tell me, channel, if it's gone.
Yes.
Smendrick,
you're using that thing you used to use, Smendrick.
Man, but I have
that's all right.
Smendrick,
I can't hear the beeping myself, so
like it's kind of quite and very high pitched, but it's definitely audible.
Yeah. Sorry, but I didn't connect it to this port.
Because it used to happen, then you fixed it, didn't you?
Yeah,
you did fix it, didn't you?
Yeah, and since then I didn't change anything.
Yeah.
We'll don't worry about it, Smendrick. We'll live with it. So, but anyway, I want to get back to the Battle of Zalem here. Now, if you remember the Battle of Zalem, just from the movie. Now we don't have a lot on this, but based on the movie, remember there was two battles that we saw in the movie. There was the battle on Mars. I mean, on the moon, rather, not Mars, on the moon. And I got this distinct impression that the URM won that battle. Okay, and we had a stream on this here about 3 or 4 months ago. But the Battle of Zalem, and if there were 12 cities, that means there were 12 battles. The URM won 11 of those battles, but they lost the Battle of Zalem. Now, the overall war, I think, was pretty much a pretty much a draw. I think.
I think it may have been mutual destruction.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, we lost Smendrick. Wow. But anyway, yeah, he's probably fixing his mic. But anyway, I'm going to play this little video. It's from the movie, and we're not going to get yeeted because I've already checked it out. So anyway, here, you guys will all recognize this.
Oh, so epic.
Yes.
The cinematography now with the right
amazing, isn't it?
Twist black both.
Magically appearing Geldo in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I was a bit ahead of time there.
Destroy Zalem.
Now you got the idea there. You see now the supply tube certainly was destroyed, but based on all of those berserkers getting wiped out, except for Gelda and Alita. Now, if you remember about berserkers, they were such powerful soldiers that probably Gelda and Alita probably had it within their capability to do some inflict some serious damage. To Zalem. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, what was that?
Is it probably it's pretty much definitely?
Yeah.
Because even if they couldn't from the outside, if the design was very well enforced, once they got inside, there's no way the entire city is berserker proofed. Maybe the outside is berserker proof, but once you get into the actual servers or the residential areas, there's no way everything there is berserker proofed. In fact, most stuff isn't.
Yeah, well, if you remember what Ito said about Alita, that she was the most advanced cyborg weapon ever created. And those berserkers, they're superhuman. They're gonna regular soldiers aren't going to stand a chance against them.
You get a powerful weapon system like that inside a enemy facility. There's going to be a lot of soft bits in there that are going to be able to do some serious harm.
And even if there are soldiers in there, there's Smendrick. Smendrick's back with us. Did you fix your mic?
Okay. I removed the extension cable. Please, channel, check
There's
it.
no beeping now.
Nice.
Slightly extension cable.
Okay.
Thank you,
You
there's
fixed
MVP.
You fixed it.
Yeah.
But anyway, looking at that video, looks like the URM lost that battle, didn't they? I mean, it kind of feels like they did. Now we don't know what happened with Alita. Now we do know Alita certainly ended up in the scrap pile. We don't know what happened to Gelda, So, probably it'd be what I think is that they were captured. They may have gotten into Zalem and created havoc and maybe, taken out a whole bunch of different soldiers and caused a lot of destruction. But eventually they were captured. And then, of course, Alita was thrown over the side. God damn it. Sorry about that. My damn phone. Potential spam, you think?
It could be Rosa calling to say, yeah, I'll take the bus. I'm ready. I'll meet you after the show.
I thought I muted the damn thing too. Jeez. But anyway, that's another story on my phone.
What a boring ringtone.
Yes.
Should be like Swan Song or something.
Yes. Yes. But anyway, I think that the URM lost that battle. And particularly since Zalem is still in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, since their objective was to bring the city down, they didn't.
They didn't. Yeah. Now the other 11 cities came down, obviously, but this one didn't, so they lost that battle. Now, that was the way they approached it. You remember they had the squad going up the supply tube. Okay. That looked like to me almost like a frontal assault, which is a lot of times not a good thing to do for soldiers, because and I kind of got the impression maybe that their intel, for Zalem may not have been that good. Maybe they didn't know that there was a defense ring, or if they did, maybe they underestimated its ability.
Or they just didn't prepare properly for it.
Yeah, they didn't prepare for it. Yeah. Now, that one berserker yelled defense ring, so they knew what it was, obviously, but yeah, they didn't know how to handle it. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is there were some other ways that they probably could have approached this that would have been less lethal to the berserkers. I mean, can you imagine that there was a squad there? And it was probably a dozen berserkers, I guess, at least if it's a dozen.
And that may not have been the only assault squad going up those tubes. I mean, there's multiple tubes.
They could have. That's right. Well, yeah, the other tubes, were different. I'm just talking about this one tube.
Yeah.
They could have even had more than one squad going up that tube, at some point. But now when the tube got cut in half, by them shooting at it, the way they did with those plasma weapons.
Well, it wasn't the weapons fire that did. When they smashed the ring and it flew apart, it acted like a buzzsaw cutting through the tube.
Well, I mean, I think the ring though got destroyed by the plasma weapons, not the tube.
Oh yeah, the ring. Yeah. The ring did. Yeah.
The ring was taken out by the plasma weapons. Now,
and the ring just destroyed the tube.
Yes.
The
ring
flew apart.
Yeah, the ring cut it in half. Yeah, after they shot the crap out of it.
Not a very strong tube. If the defense ring is what breaks it,
that might actually be why they went up. They were expecting that the fragility of the tube would have meant that the defenders may not have been willing to risk it. Yeah.
Never thought of that.
Because they got their supplies from it, didn't they? up those.
It seems like the primary method of getting supplies. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if they were still. Actually, no. At this point, plagues may have already been released on Earth, so it could be that Zalem had at this point cut its physical connection directly beneath it, in order to prevent the plagues from reaching Zalem. So it might be that the tubes are the only way to get in there.
Yeah. Well, I kind of thought though, how the URM could have approached this differently and what they could win, and of course, one of you see is that the berserkers themselves take a more evasive type of action. And I'm going to show you a video not a video, but an image of that. Certainly one of the other things they could have done was, instead of just doing an all-out assault on these cities, they could have just destroyed all the defense rings. And they would have starved them out if they'd have done that, Now that would have been a longer term engagement. You know, I mean, like it'd be like
an extended siege like that.
Yeah, type thing. But they wouldn't be getting food, would they? So eventually they would be in big trouble. You know. And of course, just destroying the supply tube, that would...
It could be. There might have been defenses higher up in orbit that they were keeping occupied otherwise. And so they didn't have a lot of time because that diversion may not have been lasting long.
Yeah, and we don't have enough data, do we, from the movie about how that was.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning before. We don't really know what the defenders had to throw at them to really get a good balance of what was going on there.
Now that destroying the defense rings themselves, because I believe, although it doesn't say this in the movie, but what I think, if you base this on what's in the manga or in the anime, they probably had more than one defense ring, you know, on each supply tube. I
was just thinking maybe an anti-tank weapon or something like that deployed.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. They might have. If they'd had some kind of rocket launchers or something like that, because all of these berserkers only had plasma rifles.
But again, if you destroy the rings, then they're probably going to do exactly what this one did, which was whipsaw through the ring or supply tube. And
unless for some reason they could blow the ring to bits, not just cut it in half like that, or kind of just break it like
break it into small enough pieces that would just fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. And that would take, like you were saying, Lee, that would take some kind of what we think of in the military today as anti-tank weapons.
Yeah,
that would
use as heavy armor. Yeah,
exactly. So but that's one way they could have done it. And I did come up with a couple more after this too. I'll get to that. Now another and we don't know that they didn't do this also, but they could have also just directly attacked the space elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they can cut that sucker in half, you remember in the manga that was what the Barjack wanted to do when they had that big ass cannon,
And that might be what was preventing them from doing it, was some kind of a shield system along that space elevator.
Yeah, but it seems to me that an advanced an advanced military like this, like the URM was here in this one, is they might have had some shield system to protect it, but they could keep bombarding that shield until it finally just ran out of energy, and then of course, and then just start attacking the actual material, that the
unless it was being fed by a powerful reactor up in space, or from Jeru, as it's called.
Yeah, and
that could be they were trying to hit a soft spot where the defenses were weakest, which was closest to Earth surface.
Yes.
Wasn't Zalem powered by thermal energy from they used to get it from the shafts connecting to the surface? How are they getting it now? Or are all the...
Like I say, it could be some sort of reactors in orbit that are feeding it at that point.
Could be, or they could even be getting some kind of solar energy or something. Who knows?
That's the other thing. It turns out that you can get antimatter from the Van Allen belts.
Yeah.
Very tiny amounts of it. So it could be that there's an antimatter reactor on Jeru that is constantly being fed by the Van Allen belts.
Could be. Yeah, we don't know.
At the end, towards the end of the manga, when Zalem falls, we get a brief mention that the power is restored to the surface from Zalem's power plant, meaning Zalem had its own power plant.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yes.
But it could be there's a more powerful one up in space too.
Yeah,
and
what's Zalem's power plant running on?
Well, they probably had them cross-connected in such a way where they could have some redundancy, where if you take out one power plant, the other one, maybe some others kick in, like generators do today. I mean, maybe who knows what they had there, But my thought is if they could take out the space elevator, if they could break that sucker in half, then Zalem's coming down. Now it's going to come down on top of Iron City is what it's going to do, but it's coming down. And
it could be that there's some sort of an energy field that was connected between Jeru and Zalem. And so they were trying to break the connection so that it would bring that shield down. which would allow them to directly attack the space elevator.
And it could be that that's one of the things that the Berserkers wanted to do. They wanted to get into Zalem and get to that reactor so they could shut it down.
Yeah.
You know, that could have been something else they were doing. We don't know what they actually. We know the mission was to destroy Zalem, but we don't know the specifics. You know, of how the tactics or how they were going to accomplish that mission. You know, we just don't know. You know, another thought I had that didn't occur to me when I was making this, when I was putting together this presentation, was if they had some kind of weapon that could emit a very high energy EMP, that would take out all the systems, you know, I mean, that were actually in operation, you know, because if they had a weapon like that, and let's say the people, the Earth Defense Force, you know, knew that they had this weapon, and they might be inclined to shut down all of the systems for fear of them using this EMP weapon against them. And when that happened, if they shut down the systems, that might take down the energy shield in which they could then attack the space elevator. But once again, we just don't know, you know, because they don't go into it, that kind of thing in the movie at all, you know. Sky Sita, I mean, if you want, I think you said a while ago you had some thoughts on this. If you want to come on the stream,
I'm going to copy the link to her to their post, and you can just read it. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think this Sky Sita, I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong. You can click on that link that you see right there in the chat, and I'll bring you in the stream. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just paste the thing in anyway.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, Sky, if you want to come on, you can. You know, anybody can click on the link, and I'll bring you in. You know, so. But basically, those are the kind of there's 4 ways up there, and I added the EMP weapon after I'd already uploaded the presentation. Now, what does that mean? Well, in terms of the evasive action to be taken by the Berserkers, if you remember when Hugo died, that defense ring came down. Hugo almost made it over the ring. Now, he's not as strong as Alita, but look how high Alita has jumped above, you know, those spikes that are in that defense ring. Now, my inclination is that Alita and Gelda were probably the best Berserkers. You know, maybe they had the more capable bodies, but I can't believe that the other Berserkers' bodies were still not capable of jumping over these rings like this. Yeah. So instead of like what happened in the battle, they might have been caught off guard or something like that, where that ring was on top of them, you know, and then they started shooting at it out of, you know, instinct or something like that. If they would have just run at the ring and jumped over it like Alita did right there, that defense ring wouldn't have done anything, you know, and they would have probably launched another one, but they'd have jumped over that, you know. So they just keep jumping over these rings, you know, until they run out of rings, and then they get up into Zalem. And a dozen or more Berserkers in Zalem, that's going to be the end of the battle right there. Because I don't care if they have 100 soldiers or 1,000, a dozen Berserkers are going to take them out, you know, and then they're going to destroy the infrastructure and everything in Zalem, you know, itself. So anyway, what's y'all's thoughts about this?
I've also pasted the link to the Tumblr.
Oh, okay. We
can go through their case for it.
Okay,
it's interesting analysis.
Okay,
I'm just reading. I haven't read it all yet.
Let me put that in there. I'm gonna put the Tumblr link in the public chat.
Just scroll down to the final image on the post.
Yeah,
got a bit confused.
There it is.
I need to read the rest.
Anyway, that's my thought. One of the things that those Berserkers could have done was just kept jumping over the rings. They all had this ability. Alita jumped over the ring with ease. Look how high above that thing she is. You know? So what do you guys think? Would that be a plausible way to overcome the defense ring?
I would think, unless there were some sort of mitigating circumstances about that, like somebody mentioned, Badman mentioned, Alita was not wearing full combat armor here. So depending on how dense that armor was that they were wearing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't know that either.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Was she not wearing it for any actual reason, or is it just so we can recognize her? Because let's be honest, if she was wearing full armor with the helmet, it would not be as easily, the scene would not be as readable in the cinema. And a rule of movie making and generally storytelling is that sometimes being clearly readable is more important than realism.
Plus, she has plot armor.
Also, watching Behind the Eyes is great. Go read her take.
Yeah, you should bring it up, Creaky, and we can go through it.
You want me to bring up the...
It's going to the fury of what if it's going to the fury, or not, that the Nova was originally from URM and betrayed them to side with Earth.
Because why did Zalem survive and all the other ones go down? We don't really know. At that point.
Yeah, well, we don't. That's another thing. Let me share the...
But it shows that the URM had a good strategy because they killed all of them except for one.
Yeah, I'm not going to share the audio just in case. So can you guys see that?
There's no audio anyway. Yeah.
Oh, there isn't? Well, all right.
No, it's a text post with pictures.
You can literally just scroll down and read it.
Okay.
Can you close the pop-up? It's covering a chunk of the screen.
He needs a Tumblr account.
I don't have a Tumblr account, and I can't.
I'm pretty sure there's a way to close the pop-up anyway. Okay.
Let's
see a cross.
I don't see a little X in the corner.
Damn it! Why is that?
Okay, grab. Just scroll down then.
Just scroll down. Yeah, we can manage.
Install a pop-up blocker.
Yeah.
Ah, looks like somebody is following us on Tumblr.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really know how they lost. That's a good point right there. We do have a pretty good feeling that they probably did lose because Zalem was still up there and Alita was in pieces, and we don't know, and there is no Gelda.
Yeah, their whole thing seemed to be bring down the city and kill Nova, and well, neither of those things happened. So.
None of those things happened. So yeah, but they are right. We don't know how the URM lost the battle. We don't know that.
Yeah, what they had factors played into that or anything like that.
Yeah. And they had a good overall strategy. Well, that's a good point because, and they mentioned 12 Sky Cities here. If you bring down 11 cities out of 12, I would say that's overall from an overall strategy, that's a successful strategy. If you brought down all but one, then I think you've met most of your objective at the very least. We don't know what circumstances other than what we saw just a little bit in the movie there that on the video how they lost. We just don't know. I mean, they got a good point there. And they were right. Looks like that the Sky Cities, if 11 out of 12 of them came down, they weren't that well prepared, were they, for it? And it could be that just maybe Zalem got lucky, and and won that battle, just that single battle. So, So these are some good points right here. Who
keep going?
Watching behind the eyes. Yeah, nice.
Keep scrolling. There's loads more info.
Okay, Mars attack.
The other cities weren't as prepared to deal with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like all the other ones were weaker, and they didn't have Nova leading them. Nova is just an evil genius.
Nova got too much plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Nova found an exploit to expand his plot armor to the whole city.
Yeah,
that's how they survived.
He has to survive till at least the third movie.
And it could be too. It's maybe it was nothing special about Nova, helping Zalem survive or win that particular battle, in that they just might have won it. They might have just got lucky. You know, I mean, you know, it could be. We just don't know. You know, we don't know how that worked out. So anyway, stand up from other sky cities. Yeah, we don't know that. He would have been in charge of during the war. All the others got fallen to Zalem.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nova, according to the novelization, Nova came from the same place as Alita.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the novelization, she was watching him train, or watching her train.
Yeah.
He was watching her train.
So he must have had inside info.
So he knew it.
So much we don't know. We need all the.
That might have been one of the reasons they
Cameron.
wanted him dead, is because he was a defector from the Martian republics.
Exactly.
If he was a defector, that would explain, because he already knows the strategy that brought down the other cities, so he'd be able to prepare for it.
Or he might have just been such a genius and a major pain in the ass that they felt like they had to get him.
I feel like if he was dangerous, and because he knew something about the strategy, that he knew how to prepare for it. And none of the other cities without intel about how something about the Berserker works would have been able to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Because if Nova in this version was in any way involved in the creation of the Berserker, he would have been aware of any loopholes, how to defeat it, of the loopholes, shortcomings, of any specific weak points that could potentially defeat it.
Yes.
Something which, if it's very specific, then a random enemy scientist would not have been able to figure out, because Berserkers are so hard to capture and study. They destroy everything, but the man who created them would know what potentially could stop them.
Yes.
At least you have a better chance of knowing.
Yeah. Well, there's a good point right here on that very first sentence on this page, is that, you know, that like he says here, he or she, URM was hell bent on killing him, which means, he was a high value asset to the war. I mean, for sure, you know, I mean, he was maybe he did have a major role in Zalem's victory. Maybe the other sky cities did not have a Nova, like they were saying there, you know. That's a good point right there, you know. They specifically trained the people to eliminate him, but it still wasn't enough. Yeah, that's right. Well, it certainly wasn't enough, because the Zalem's still up there. So that definitely wasn't enough. Biggest mistake was made the way before the Battle of Zalem. Okay. According to the official novelization, Nova came from the same place. This is what you were alluding to, Channel, as Alita. He belonged to the URM's elite and observed Alita's training, just like you were saying. So the only mistake of the URM was we can be sure of was that they didn't prevent Nova's betrayal. Okay, so he came from the same place as Alita, and you know, he is no longer supporting the URM or anything like that. Now he's on the Earth's side, and they did not stop that from happening. So that's a good point as well. Wow, this guy knows what he's talking. This person knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, really great posts on Reddit.
Yeah, it is. We don't know, however, if it was strategic genius, special tech, knowledge of URM secrets. Yeah, we don't know any of that. That's right. Or a combination of all those. Nova saving Zalem from getting destroyed, but let me just highlight this. But they shouldn't have let him gain so much power in their society. Shouldn't have let him flee to Earth and turn against them. Yeah, that's right. Now, we don't know what the circumstance there is, how he did that. Maybe he had a really super great plan for getting away from Mars or getting away from the URM, you know. So we don't know. They didn't put Noah in a baby jail while he was still in Venus, or on Mars, rather. Yep. Gay baby jail. Love it. Okay, so yeah, that's a really good post right there. That's insightful, I think. Yeah, it doesn't still speak specifically, though, to how the URM could have changed their tactics, not the strategy. Their overall strategy was successful. They brought down 11 out of 12 of those cities.
It's hard to figure out they should have changed their tactics when we have no idea what the tactic actually was.
Exactly. Well, that's true. That's true, you know, but I would think, just looking at it with what limited knowledge we have now, is that we do know that there are some things, like, for instance, now we don't, it's kind of like Lee was saying a while ago, we don't know how much that combat armor weighed, you know, so we don't really know if the berserkers would have been able to leap that high. But look how high she's up there. God,
well, somebody also, it was the bad man again. He pointed out that the more vertically the supply tubes get as you get closer to the city, it becomes much more difficult to jump over them.
Well,
and
not
Alita,
only
over the defense
tube
ring
is still relatively horizontal up here. They seem to be way
yeah, that's
higher.
true. Yeah.
So it's harder to jump.
Well, I have no doubt that the berserkers were strong enough to even get up that vertical tube. The problem is that as they got up closer to Zalem and they had multiple defense rings, the amount of time for them to react, for that to come down on them,
becomes shorter. Yeah,
it's shorter and shorter and shorter, and the closer they get, they're not going to be able to jump over it if it's vertical. You know,
that's what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, good points.
Can we use AI to make like flash games yet? We should make one where you just have Alita just jumping up to Zalem, like boing boing over all the supply sheet, over all the defense.
You don't need the ChatGPT to do a flash game.
No, sorry, I just use that for everything.
Going Super
I mean,
Mario.
you can definitely find some kind of artist coder who will commission a flash game.
Yeah. You're right. Sorry.
Well, another thing they possibly could have done to take evasive action is they could have had, I don't know, some kind of jet packs of sorts. Although I do think Zalem's air defense system would shoot them down probably. So who knows? Yeah. Yeah, this maybe not is going to be as good. I mean, it would be okay in the short run as they're going up the tube, but as they started going up more vertical, it'd be harder for them to evade that defense ring, because probably what would happen is Nova would hold maybe a couple of rings back until they got right up on it, and then he would let one of them go, and it would take out the rest of them because they couldn't jump over it, you know. Plan C. Yeah, that would be a plan C, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I actually kind of got the impression that this was, well, it was pretty much the end of the war at this point, so they were pretty desperate to do something to bring them down. So
yeah. Well, the idea too that they did bring down the other 11. What did they? No, we don't know this either. What did they do on those other 11 cities that maybe they didn't do here? You know, I mean,
for whatever reason, they may have expended more of their forces on them. Perhaps it's some kind of operation that decoyed or drew attention of the URM to those other cities, thinking that they were more important targets first.
Yeah, it could be.
Possibly.
Yeah, could be.
Again, it's supposition, but
yeah. So I don't know. Now that I've got that up there, I'm not so sure this is, I mean, it's viable to a point, but once you get close to the Zalem itself, when the tube becomes more vertical, it's going to be hard to get around it.
If someone does make that flash game, then that could be used as like difficulty, because a lot of games, the longer you play, the harder it gets, so you don't get bored. So that's a natural explanation for the difficulty. The tube's getting more vertical.
Yeah, the closer you're getting, the faster they come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone should make that game.
Yeah, there could be a funny end as well where Alita like cuts off Nova's head or something.
I was just thinking too, from what I saw, they had artificial gravity control systems and things. There might have been some kind of gravity control mechanism either in the rings or in the tube itself that made it much more difficult to get any kind of distance in jumping. That for whatever reason, Nova didn't use it when it was just Alita and Hugo.
Could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I'm not. Well, here's the thing. this evasive action thing here maybe could have worked if they had, let me go back a slide, where we talk about destroying the defense rings. In other words, blowing them to bits. Well, let me go ahead and do that. Blowing them to bits so they would not, you know, take out the ring itself. I mean, take out the supply tube itself, so they could jump over a few of these. And as they got close, you know, then they could start shooting at the rings before they got released and blowing them to smithereens, maybe, you know, and that way they wouldn't have a ring once they got up near the vertical. That's possible. But
taking out the launch mechanism or something like that.
Yeah, but once again, we don't know that either. We don't know how many rings they had. I mean, they could have had like 24 of those things, and that'd have been damn near impossible, I think. So, but yeah, if they had like what we would consider anti-tank weapons or something with, you know, what we would call armor piercing incendiary rounds, although they had in the rocket launchers, if they had something like that or some kind of you know, armor.
They probably wouldn't want to use something explosive because then you get shrapnel ripping into the tube that you're climbing up.
That's true. Yeah, they would have
some kind of beam weapon or something like that that would cut through heavy armor at very fast intervals.
Yeah. Well, all we saw was those plasma rifles. We didn't see any beam weapons. I mean, that would be, and we don't know what material that you know, we don't know the alloy.
Yeah, there's a lot of considerations, as well as the possibility of some kind of energy disruption field that might have disrupted a cutting beam of some kind. And so you had to use short pulses to overcome it. There are a lot of possibilities there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a heat round would be a good possibility.
Yeah. Or perhaps a weapon that would, say, jam it to where if you tried to activate it, it wouldn't release down the tube if you had a weapon.
I get the impression, though, something like this is a very simple device that is going to rely on gravity. So you'd have to have is some kind of manual release as a backup. So you just release the ring and gravity does the rest for you.
Yeah. But if you had something, a weapon that could screw up the tracks to where the ring would not go down the the defense ring wouldn't go down the supply tube in those tracks. They maybe screw them up somehow, a weapon that could do that, perhaps. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know,
it could be just like a ball bearing type device that it was writing down on. So it didn't, it was just a simple gravity driven device. Yeah,
if that's all they had was gravity-driven device, that's going to be pretty tough to overcome. I mean, you could blow it up maybe, but
very simple, not a lot to try to mess up on it. Very few moving parts.
Yeah,
relatively speaking, you know.
They jam the radar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only one man would dare give me the raspberry.
Yes. But anyway, a combination of these two things, maybe, you know, I don't know, you know, I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, now this is something that they did when they released the ring and they got shot to bits by the plasma weapons, but destroying the supply tube itself. In other words, that ring basically destroyed the supply tube. So it seems to me there was some kind of weapon that they could use that they could, you know, still, you know, cut the supply tubes. And there were, I don't know how many supply tubes there are on there. Is it 6 or 8? Who knows? If they could destroy all the supply tubes, I mean, just cut them.
It's 12. It's stated in the manga that there's 11 because some kid is complaining what 11. It's a stupid number. It could have been 10 or 12. And it's explained. Well, there used to be 12, but one got cut off, which is what we would. And the scene in the movie with the tube being cut off is based on that line from the manga that there used to be 12, but one got cut off.
Yeah.
So there's presumably 11, although you could just open a screenshot from the movie and count if you want to know.
Yeah. But the idea, though, here about destroying the supply tube, if they could destroy all the supply tubes that is holding, that's, you know, sending, you know, food and maybe not medicine, but food and clothes and all kinds of cool stuff up to Zalem. They cut all the supply tubes. They could defeat Zalem without, they could just it'd be like laying siege to a city and starve them out. You know, that's, unless they had some kind of food production like replicators in Star Trek or something like that.
It could also be there was some kind of time limit they were under that isn't clarified in the movie either. Like maybe Nova was working on some kind of super defense that they were trying to take him out before he completed it.
Yeah.
Some nanobot thing.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Oh crap! You know, in Jeru, when they had these nanobots that are specifically used, not really nanobots. They had the substance that slows down nanobots. What if that's something, or like the reverse of that is what was keeping berserkers from entering Zalem? If the air around Zalem had a specific nanobot cloud that was making the berserker bodies malfunction, so they can't function to their full extent.
That's possible. Some kind of limiting field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because the berserkers are a very specific work on berserker cells, they're not like typical cyborgs. Then that wouldn't act, if you coded it right, it wouldn't be fucking up fully organic cells or normal cyborgs, but it would be pretty inconvenient. But it could be damaging to berserkers. Not damaging enough to destroy them outright, maybe, but damaging enough so they'd be worse at fighting.
Well, yeah,
possibly forcing them to constantly
possible to kill in other ways.
Yeah. That's right. Making them not as effective as a fighting force, I guess. Yeah.
And because it's not like an immediate boom, something's not working, they don't realize they're less effective until they've put themselves in a situation where they could only survive if they were as effective as they usually are, which they're not, which is what got them all killed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm
afraid. Well, the idea of destroying this. Oh, okay, Lee. Well, thanks for joining us, man.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun.
You bet.
You guys take care.
Yes. Say hi to your girlfriend for us.
I will.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, the whole thing
about. Do we know his girlfriend?
Say again, Vladdy?
Do we know his girlfriend?
Well, I don't know her. I mean, I asked him pre-stream how his girlfriend's doing. He, you know.
Oh, okay.
So it's not. I
thought she might be part of the fandom or something.
No. Well, I think she's seen the movie, but I don't think she's part of the fandom.
Okay.
But anyways, I was going to say, destroying the supply tube where it'd be something you do as part of a siege action, that's going to take a long time right there. It's kind of like what you guys were saying. If they're working up against some kind of time limit, that's not going to be a viable strategy, you know. Now, if they don't have a time limit, you know, of any kind, then certainly they could, you know, destroy all the supply tubes and starve them out. You know, that's basically the way that would work. So, and then of course we talked about this now in the manga. If you remember, there was that big cannon that they had on a rail car. They were going to shoot the space elevator. Yeah. And of course that didn't work out for them.
I think on somewhere the joke that what if Chaos was part of the Barjack all along and he only split off not because of political reasons or because he's a pacifist, but because he got into a fight with them over whether or not Hank should look like some kind of instrument or be named after some kind of type of music.
Yeah.
Like Hank, couldn't we have something more symbolic? No, then I'm leaving.
So anyway,
go
ahead.
Probably not canon, but it's a funny idea.
So anyway, by attacking the space elevator itself, you know, the long tube, it's going to be 22,300 miles long. There certainly is going to be vulnerabilities in that, but I think it might have been like what Lee was saying and a couple of you guys are saying. There might have been some protective energy field that protects that tube. So it might be very difficult to overcome that shield. So, I'm not sure that, I mean, certainly if you had a weapon powerful enough, then, maybe you can penetrate the shield, but that would, certainly that would have been an option. But there might have been a reason why they were going up the tube, the supply tube like they were doing. We don't know that. They might have picked that for a specific reason. Could have been they were going to capture, I guess, Nova. And if you did break the tube itself or break the space elevator, bringing Zalem down, crashing it, it might kill Nova. And maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they wanted to capture him. But although I do think Gilda did say that he is the dragon that must be slain, so I guess that's not a viable, I guess, solution either. So, and then I guess the last thing
the question is, that was already asked in the previous stream, but still an important question. Is killing Nova the main business and killing Zalem the side mission? Like, we're killing Zalem because Nova's in it, or is destroying Zalem the main mission and killing Nova is the side quest? Like, we're only killing Nova because he's standing in the way of destroying Zalem. Which is the more important goal, and which is the means to that end?
Well, in a military action like that, when Gelda said, finish the mission, destroy Zalem, that tells me that destroying Zalem was the #1 mission. If they
there's the whole dragon that could be taken either way.
Yeah, but I do think since the mission is to destroy Zalem, maybe killing Nova is a kind of a secondary objective. Perhaps if they could kill him, that'd be great. But they do want to bring Zalem down, like they did the other 11 cities.
So close to a baker's dozen.
Yeah. Well, it was exactly a dozen, but only 11 of the cities came down. So.
Yeah, one short, unless I'm getting mixed up. What's a baker's dozen again? Isn't that just 12?
13.
Oh, crap. All right. Just
and they did not have 13 sky cities.
No. Thankfully.
Yes.
They needed to have an even number.
I agree with Daniel. I think 12 is. I think 12 is outrageous myself, but anyway.
It's kind of like in Rise of Skywalker when they just had like 1 million ships coming in, just to be yeah, this movie's gonna top all the movies. We're gonna have 1 zillion ships.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like that Star Trek series, Picard, when looked like Picard was going to get blown up, by the Romulans, and then all of a sudden 1 zillion ships show up out of hyperspace, with Captain Riker, or Admiral Riker at that point, having all of those ships and is going to take on the Romulans, and there was 1 zillion of those ships. So yeah, I guess. Anyway, one other thing I did think of, and I mentioned, is having some kind of EMP weapon that would disable all of the systems on Zalem. Now, they have some kind of defensive capability that would shield their systems from EMP. I don't know, but that would have been another possibility that they might have done. They might have attempted that, But can you guys think of any other way the URM could have won the Battle of Zalem?
I mean, the best option is just slam a big ship into the tube between Zalem and Jeru.
Yeah, that could work.
That would have worked.
That would be their world's equivalent of 9/11, except
9/11, that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, a big starship, just crashing into the city, right? That would have done it. Or say crashing into a big ship crashing into the space elevator. That might have done it. Because if you break that space elevator, that city's coming down.
And then there'll be people in Iron City with conspiracy theories for decades to come.
Yeah, those that survive.
What really caused the collapse of Zalem?
Yeah. Yeah, those few that
was it gay aliens?
Gay aliens.
Was it Wi-Fi?
There is gay aliens? Holy moly.
Was it secret parasitic mind controlling brainworms? Was it
Most
bug
likely.
people? Was it lizard people?
Lizard. Yeah, lizard people.
Uh-oh, we've gone too close to the truth.
Was it my math teacher not giving me an extension?
End the stream. End the stream. Shut it down.
No, not yet, buddy. We got a couple other things to do.
Getting too close to the truth.
So can you guys think of anything else? I think we went over like 5 different things. And of course,
they just needed more Alitas.
Yes.
If every single warrior was Alita, they would have won easily.
You're thinking like Eisenberg, and that clearly did not work out for him. Let's just make more Alitas did not work out for him.
No, it did not. He was doing. He made 12, didn't he? Because Elf and Swerve.
Yeah, and one of them decided that you know, that it's time to kill all the other ones.
Well, Zex wanted to kill all the others. I mean, you know, he wanted to do that. He was AR6. Yeah, Gunnar. There were well, actually, technically, there are 12 android Alitas, and in the Badlands arc, 12 android Alitas and 1 cyborg Alita. So technically, I guess you could say it's 13 Alitas. So yeah, and the AR program is what Bigot Eisenberg wanted. He wanted to pattern, or he wanted to replicate, I guess, these 12 ARs, you know, to fight and be as effective as Alita is fighting, you know, except they'd be androids. So
they'd be more obedient and easier to repair if something happens to them.
Yeah. Now, Evernaut says that they had starships and they could have just, you know, nuked it from orbit, which they probably could have done that. Now, I don't recall. I thought that, you know, that that Venus and say Jeru, you know, Earth, even Mars at one point, or Jupiter, had considered interstellar space travel, but they did not. They elected not to do it. Is that right? Does that sound something channeled at the? Does that
From what I remember, they were going. They created spaceships that could travel between solar systems, but they were considered later too dangerous, and the engines had to be disabled. And one of those ships was, I think, some of them were destroyed by terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
And some of them were converted to space stations with the engines disassembled. I think like some of those ships were destroyed by the Manhoof attack, which Alita was part of, and that's what ended the project and got all the non-destroyed ships converted into space stations.
Well, they could have taken one of those space stations and just, like you said, they could have rammed Zalem. You know, they could have done that. We don't know what kind of defense system Zalem had, if they could have prevented that, but that seemed to me that'd be a heavy lift for any society or any military to stop a big starship or spaceship like that that's coming at you at probably, who knows, 40 kilometers an hour or whatever, or more faster than that, 40,000 kilometers an hour. That'd be tough to take out, you know, before it rammed into the city. You know, I don't know, you know. And certainly they probably, I don't know what kind of weapons they'd have on it, but certainly to me, you know, using a starship or a spaceship like that and attacking it from a distance would be more effective than sending a bunch of soldiers up a supply tube. You know, I don't know. Any other thoughts, guys?
I'm not a military strategist, so I don't really know. But we've had some good theories.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not a military
eventually, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a
military strategist either, but you can tell by the way I'm talking.
Well, I'm not one either, but I was in the Defense Department for many years. I knew a little bit about it, but not enough to be considered expert strategist. So, you know. Smendrick, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
now
I
you
think
were in the German bear mark, weren't you?
Yeah, more in the oh man, how do you call this? Mars and Lars artillery rocket systems.
Yes.
But no, I think there would be a much easier solution for all of us, the best.
Yeah.
You remember 200 years before the battle, a company called Disney.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, it's not an important company, but if they would have listened to the so-called Alita army and sent the sequels, release and produce and whatever, re-release the movies, then could have learned from these movies how to win the Battle of Zalem.
Yeah.
If they released those movies, then it wouldn't be fighting Zalem at all, because Nova would still be on Mars rewatching and analyzing those movies.
Yes.
That's
right.
That's the famous last word.
And the internet would stretch between the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. So you'd have a big ass internet with a lot of latency. All right, guys. I think we hit this one good enough. I think.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No.
No, you're ready. You're ready to get back onto Discord, aren't you, Bloody?
No, I'm ready to get
you want to go to
bed?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm an hour before the other two people.
Channel, I am going to send you that invite as soon as we get off here. I promise.
For someone who's in a time zone where it's currently 2 a.m., I'm not even that sleepy.
Oh, I think I'm sleepy because I've been drinking so much caffeine.
World peace.
Yeah, because if you drink caffeine too often, you actually get kind of immune to it.
I know,
except not really, because now when you drink caffeine, you feel the same way as you used to without drinking caffeine. That's because what caffeine does, it numbs the connections in your brain that tell you you're tired. What your brain does then, it creates more connections to tell you you're tired. So now when you do drink caffeine, you feel the same as before when you didn't drink it. But if you stop drinking caffeine, well, now your brain has twice the amount of connections that say I'm tired. So until it fixes that, and you're gonna just be constantly tired, because your brain, if you quit coffee for long enough, your brain will get rid of some of those connections because they're no longer needed. But for a while, you will have twice the amount of connections that to inform you you're tired.
And then you have a shit night's sleep because of the caffeine, and then you drink more caffeine the next day because you're still tired because you had a shit night's sleep.
Well, be careful. If you drink too much caffeine, it'll raise your blood pressure too. So you gotta be.
Everyone now has a good comment here.
Yeah. Oh, I love coffee. I drink the heck out of it. Oh, I love Avernaut's comment here. He says, 200 years, I don't think Disney will be around another 400 years. They carry on like they are now. Absolutely. I agree. I mean, God almighty, these people are making bad decisions. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Avernaut. That's for sure. All right. Well, I guess we can move on then. Did we miss anything? I don't think so, because Lottie wants to go to bed, and he doesn't want us to miss anything. But as you can see from that center panel there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek, and that's because he wants a sequel, and she wants a sequel, and everybody in the Elite Army wants a sequel. Actually, we want sequels. We don't want a sequel. We want sequels. And it's kind of like Gunnar said a while ago, world peace through Alita sequels. Absolutely.
Damn right.
You're sounding even more like a cult than usual.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there's our queen right there, Rosa Salazar. Certainly, she's number one in the Creeks book in terms of being an actress. I mean, just really, God, she's good at what she does. That's for sure. I think, she should have got some kind of award, for her portrayal of Alita. I think that's just my opinion. Of course, I'm biased, as we all are, but
she did get one award.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? Yes, she did. So I'm hoping to see her too. In that play in Los Angeles. That's going to be kind of cool.
That's going to be amazing. I wish I could see her.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wonder if they'll take pictures.
Oh yeah. So like she's gonna have her comeback soon. She'll be at the Imogen Award. She's got this play coming up. Might be doing some promo for Captain America. She might even be at Comic-Con tomorrow. Although I'm not sure about that. I've got a gut feeling she's not going to be there.
Yeah, who knows? I wish I could have gone down there. I mean, if I had gone down there, of course I wasn't able to do it. But God, we'd have missed Radio Chaos streams 3 weeks in a row. So I don't know if anybody could have tolerated that. But anyway, there's our queen, Rosa, right there. Really super duper actress. And I want to give shout outs to Elle Lamont and Jesse Fisher. They brought Screwhead to life. And certainly all three of these ladies are really good at what they do. They are great professionals. And we want Screwhead to be in the sequel as well. I say this every week, but I want to see Screwhead on Alita's motorball team when she takes on Joshagon, and that's going to be kind of cool. And of course, that would require both Elle and Jesse, because Jesse's the most badass stunt woman ever, is what the report was. But anyway, also, as I say every week, these three are really good at what they do. They're super duper professionals, but it sure don't hurt that they're pretty. Because they are, Tomorrow on Radio Chaos, I don't know much about this because I haven't seen any show notes yet, Angelus. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through some of these moments where Alita lost hope. I mean, certainly part of that is going to be her getting into going through the yellow door type thing. She was told by Bigot Eisenberg and others that that everybody she knew and loved was dead, so that would have been losing all hope, and
either dead or wanted nothing to do with her.
That's right. And of course, losing Hugo would be part of that, would be part of that whole situation. And it's like it says there, bring tissues. Because we're going to have some sad moments on here, and yes, we are going to have a stream, Vlotty. Yeah, we are going to have one. Yeah, we are. After 2 weeks,
and I'm going to be like, I better mute this. Don't want any spoilers.
Yes. So anyway, join us tomorrow on Radio Chaos. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think Maxie's going to be the host, but I'm not sure of that because, like I say, I haven't seen any show notes yet. So. So anyway, it is what it is. Okay, why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it, and I'm the producer, and I'm the stream manager, and that's why it's there. And to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us in the Alita Army are only here for our girl. And that just brings us to one last thing, and that would be our call to action on my count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Film those sequels, baby. Well, that was all over the map, but that's okay.
Our timing's so bad now. Your countdown's too slow.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
low energy.
Correct for old men like me.
That's a good thing. Elle Lamont's here. She'd make us do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, we'll see you next week on the Alita live stream, and we'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos.
Bye, guys.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.